I'm Dr. Lana Staley, founder of Bounce Be Transformed. I've been coaching and counseling for close to 40 years now. And so what I'm going to talk to you today about is the mind and the body and what we need to be our personal best. We now know that the brain is a very busy organ at night. So of any of the 80% of you out there that don't sleep all night, this is bad news because we have a lot of work to do at night. What the brain does at night is it takes through all of the senses from the day, sorts out which of those senses lead to something important and which ones don't. It takes our thoughts, it takes our memories, and what it does is sort through it, decides which ones to keep and which ones not to keep. And after it's done doing that, it decides where they should be stored. Long-term memory, short-term memory, just let them go. After it does that, it decides what memories to link with other memories. So that especially for women, not so much for men, but for women, we have hundreds of millions of neural connections. We have 10 times the number men do. So we put things together in ways that men don't, but not if we don't sleep. Because at night, the brain has 7.5 to 8 hours worth of work to do. And if you don't get that 7 or 8 hours worth of sleep, your brain is not going to do its job. You may not be remembering everything because you're old, you're probably just not getting enough sleep. So it's a big deal. It's just as important as exercise. You have got to have that 7.5 to 8.5 hours of sleep. People who sleep less and say, oh, I can get by in 5 hours, they have more illness, they die sooner, they have more accidents, they're more forgetful, and they tend to be a little more grumpy. So making sleep a real priority is the single best thing you can probably do for your brain. The other thing that the brain really needs is a nap now and then. And it can be a nap where you go to sleep, or it can be meditation. But the brain needs some downtime to settle, because you know how frenzied you get, I got this to do and that to do and that to do. Calm down, because that gives you the opportunity to think about something new, to have a new idea. Because when we're all revved up on those steroids, those neural pathways are going every which way. Calm down. You can think things through, you can get a different perspective, you can get a new idea. And the brain will create new neurons, and it'll create new neural pathways for you. And the way you do that is through brain training. On a daily basis, you need to do something different. It can be a different way to work. It can be wearing something different. Maybe that's why we change our clothes every day. But it's a matter of doing things that require something more of your brain. Because when the brain's on autopilot, it shrinks. It prunes. It's a use it or lose it, just like your muscles. So if you don't use your brain to think new thoughts, to have a new idea, to have a new experience, it just doesn't grow. And we know that the brain can actually produce new neurons into our 80s and 90s. So we don't have to dumb down. We can create new neural pathways just by thinking new thoughts and having new experiences, sharing a story with a friend, playing games. And if you really want to get the most bang for your buck, go dancing. Because it gets your mind, your body, you have to remember the steps, you're listening to the music. I mean, your brain is really going. So whether it's doing jazzercise, whether it's doing aerobics, the more you're moving and learning new moves, the better your brain is. In fact, at Bounce this summer, we're going to have a little hula hoop experience out in the park. So that should be a challenge. For myself, I'm sure I'll have a lot of new brain cells after that, because that's not anything I know how to do. But it's fun. So you can be doing brain training. We play Scrabble with no more than 5-letter words. I mean, you could do things that are just silly. We have a number of games we play that are random. It's more fun to play random games where you don't know who's going to win. You can play it with the kids, they can win. And it's just, we do it with the grandchildren. We have a game called Spoons, and after you're out of cards, the first one that grabs spoon, and then everybody else does, and somebody always loses. It's hilarious. I mean, everybody's laughing within a half an hour. Well, that's good brain training. So you have to look at your cards, and then you have to grab that spoon and try not to kill the person next to you while you're grabbing it. But it's just fun. So you can make taking care of your brain fun. It's important to be intentional about taking care of your brain. So you need your sleep hygiene. You need meditation. And for meditation, I do two things. I can meditate just doing it, but I also cheat a little because I have a little tape, Your Gift, Your Present, 1/2 hour of peace. And she takes you through the steps of deep breathing, of letting go of what you've been thinking about, and having positive thoughts. And, you know, it just takes you there. And in half an hour, you wake up feeling like you just woke up in the morning. You feel great. And historically, if I woke up at night, that was it. I was up. Now I listen to that tape and I go right back to sleep. I mean, it's just been a great tool for me. So be intentional about managing your brain, because your brain is command central. The mind is what the brain does. When we put it all together with the mind and the body, we have who we are in the best sense. But we have to take the time to really care for the brain, or it can't care for us. Our next segment of Chat with Women is going to be the final segment on Bounce. It's going to be how you create endorphins on a daily basis. I call it mental. So join us next time and find out how you can have mental endorphins every day.